Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm sick.
Again, you poor bastard.
Yeah.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase. See, I played off like a joke, but I am actually horrendously ill.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because an event I've been planning for a month is threatened now because of Mr. Remington.
I know. It's like, oh man, my birthday orgy is going to be in shambles.
I mean, you're joking, but I genuinely did have this originally as a birthday plan for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, the birthday orgy needs to be a birthday present. Otherwise, I mean, it feels manufactured.
I see. Well, Rem, we're gonna keep it nice and simple and straightforward for you this time around. Last week we flung you into the deepest depths of the abyss.
We don't need to ever talk about that again.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm cool with it.
We can shut that door, lock it, you know.
And for all the people who asked me to show that to you, you're welcome.
Hey, all of you guys can get fucked.
So this week, Rem, I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. Like last week had a theoretically simple premise done horrifically wrong. This week, pretty straightforward. How about some lesbians in a band? How does that sound?
Hey, there we go. Now, I do feel, oddly, that this is territory we've covered before. Oddly, lesbians in a band feels a little bit cliche, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, where else are you going to find them?
You know, so with these lesbians in a band, Sean.
Yep.
What makes them stand out from all the other lesbians in a band?
Well, one of the interesting things was when this anime first originally aired, it didn't have a overseas simulcast, so it was actually isolated to Japan because nobody properly licensed it over states. So it was one of the weird situations where a bunch of people made fan subs for an anime, which hasn't really happened in aeons.
Oh, all right. Don't tell me that's what I have to deal with.
No. It recently got licensed and brought over to streaming platforms.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was just like a few months ago, if I remember correctly, that I had my first taste of like proper fan subs.
Yeah, that was the bad sexy hamster show.
Oh God, that was a trip. That was wild. So yeah, I would like to avoid that if possible.
No, and that's part of the reason I waited until now to cover it. But it was a very it was so sought after that people had the desire to make, fan subs and such for it. Because it was actually a pretty decent looking CG anime, actually.
Oh, all right. Okay, sure.
Yeah, but CG as in stylistic and animated and bubbly and fun. Not
We'll
CG
see.
as in they didn't have a budget and did the best they could.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really, really enjoyed it and requested that we cover it. But I was like, it's a little bit of a wishy-washy gray area in terms of whether or not we can properly cover it. But hey, now that it's properly licensed over here, we can easily access it. But yeah, the anime in question is simply titled Girls Band Cry.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yep. And yeah, that's it. That is both the Japanese and the English title, all in one. And it's what it sounds like on the tin, my guy. It's a story about some young girls wanting to find a bit of purpose in life, and what better purpose can you come through by dipping your toes into good old-fashioned rock and roll music,
Well, I hope these rockin' lesbians that they can cure me. I've always said that rock and roll lesbians, they're kind of panacea, Sean.
They are the cure for what ails ya.
In fact, being a white male podcaster, I just want to start shelling out some supplements, all right? Guys, I have put in pill form, all right, or powder if you prefer, the essence of rock and roll lesbians. And so, once again, as I said, this is a panacea. It absolutely works. It can do absolutely anything.
Genuinely, that sounds like a Gamer Subs flavor.
Any disease that you have, all right, if you have asthma, if you have cancer, if you're sad, I tell you what, powdered up rock and roll lesbian.
Okay, now I feel like there's an important clarification factor here. Now, is it just their rock and roll lesbian essence, or have you gathered up a bunch of rock and roll lesbians and done horrific things, a la mummies in the 1800s?
I want to be clear, I am not the manufacturer.
Okay, all right, Logan Paul, calm down.
I don't know the industry practices.
Uh-huh, yeah, sure you do.
All I can say is that it works, all right?
I wonder if there's going to be mold in my rock and roll lesbian dust.
Limited time only. Limited time only, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving back to charity, all right?
Don't ignore the fact that we've made a massive profit in our other companies. We're giving it to charity.
Yeah, we're giving it to charity. So I tell you what, for every single 12-gallon container of rock and roll lesbian essence, we will donate $3 to a charity. We are not going to specify the charity. It might be a shell company that we've started. But that, hey, you can believe that you're improving the earth. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So now I've done my duty. I've done my duty as a white male podcaster. Yeah. I've shilled
white straight male podcaster, especially.
Yes, I've shilled some dubious supplements. And you know, I've never felt more fulfilled. What a rush.
Oh god, if we ever get that GamerSups sponsorship, maybe that'll be our flavor name.
Just like trust us on this. Secondary flavor name, corpse dust for asthmatics. No, you need to understand.
See, unfortunately, we got beat to the punch on that one, Rem, because there is a flavor called Grandma's Ashes.
God damn it.
Yeah. So we got beat to, so I think rock and roll lesbian dust might be our only route from here on out. Unless we find something bigger. Maybe just call it the big hole or something.
Yeah, there we go.
But no, Rem, it's pretty straightforward. It's a bubbly, animated, cute girls doing cute things show, and they're playing music and having a good time, and people really want us to see it and talk about it.
Well, it can't be worse than last week. And
hey, Rem, literally nothing can be. Like,
lesbians get a thumbs up, two yams up. Then rock and roll also gets a thumbs up.
Yeah, and I should clarify, like, this isn't listed as like an LGBTQ plus anime, but come on, man. Yeah, come on. And we are back after watching 5 whole episodes of the hit anime Girl Band Cry. And tell me, Remington, was this a nice break from all the despair you've been through recently? Or do you just hate music playing lesbians?
Look, I mean, obviously it's better than last week. I mean, when the bar is buried underground, Rem. Yeah, I think that's a given. I think that if it wasn't better than last week, we would have problems. There would be issues. Yeah, look, I wouldn't show you something that is, quite frankly, probably in the top 5 lowest rated things we've ever covered. 2 weeks in a row. That would be overkill. That'd be like me trying to straight up kill you, and I don't know if people are down for that, you know? Yeah. And you know what? I got something to say about this show, about Girls Band Cry, Sean.
What's that, Rem?
Girls Band Cry. It's gonna go down with the greats, Sean. It's gonna go down with the other Disney Channel greats like Camp Rock, Lemonade Mouth, the Cheetah Girls. Girls Band Cry.
Holy shit, Rem. Oh, wow, that's that people aren't gonna like that.
It's not an insult. It's just me putting it in its proper place.
Oofa doofa. Yeah, it's proper. Yeah, because God, I can't believe you'd bring up Disney Channel original musicals to my face, of all people.
Look, Sean, it has those vibes hardcore.
I don't know if I agree.
Like, if you're coming in expecting some fucking high art, you're not gonna get it.
Well, no.
But if you're going in expecting the type of shit you'd see on Camp Rock, then yeah, there you go.
Man. All right. Okay. Well, shit. Then let's get into it. Let's just see. This is interesting, curious, strange. Right. Go on. Go on, then, sir. Go on. Tell people exactly how this is a Disney Channel show, and let them deal with you. Let them
sure.
be the final verdict on that.
Sure. So we open up, and our protagonist Momo is going to Tokyo, or really kind of like outskirts. But they sleep on the train. They show up a little bit later than they were supposed to. They have to figure it all out, and it's all just like confusing and a little bit much for them. But then they see a musician that they're a huge fan of just performing on the street. And they're like, oh my God, I love you. You're amazing. You're fantastic. You're my favorite Jonas brother. And what? What? What did I?
That's a pretty pretty.
You're my favorite Jonas sister.
Criminy.
And then I don't know. There's like a couple other musicians who are like, this is our turf or something. I don't know.
Yeah, don't you know that all musicians have gang wars?
Well, and it's not even like relevant to anything at all. It's just kind of a random thing that happens right now. So they're shooed away, but they like flip off those musicians as they run away, which pisses off those musicians. And I don't know. I don't think it really matters. So the Momo and the singer, they end up going home together, right?
Oh.
And it's not like that, but it's also definitely like that.
Yeah. Like I said, Ron, they don't advertise this as the kind of anime it is, but well, you know.
Oh, wait, I keep saying Momo is the musician, Nina is the
yeah, there you go.
Protagonist, there we go. Proper order of operations.
Yeah.
So they hang out a little bit, right? And Momo is talking about how she's actually planning on quitting music and just moving on to some other stuff, and also has a gay roommate. All of these topics of conversation happen. And like there's discussion about Momo has a hit song, but she gave up the rights to it, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. There's just a lot of miscellaneous stuff. There's just a lot of stuff here. I don't think any of it's super important, but it's just kind of happening. It'll all be kind of important later, but it's just whatever right now.
Okay.
Then like the next day, Momo is going to leave, but Nina searches all around for her and finds her, and they reunite, and there they are. It's kind of weirdly paced. I don't know exactly what they're trying to go for here. It feels they do the thing that too many anime have been trying to do, where they end their first episode with a moment that belongs at the end of like a fourth episode.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, we've reunited. And I'm like, well, I don't know. You guys just met. So it's like, can you have a sentimental reuniting scene already? It feels a little bit quick.
I don't know, man. Yuri is a powerful force.
It's just a weird second beat to have in the friendship. Like, step 1, meet. Step 2, reunite. I feel like more needs to happen between those steps. Like, those should not be placed right next to each other on the puzzle piece. So they hang out more, right? They're nice and close. Meanwhile, Nina is doing some school stuff. Momo is planning for them to do a band together. There's some stuff about Nina's tragic backstory that's real angsty, and it's just real angsty.
I mean,
all right, it's angsty, and it's by angsty teenagers for angsty teenagers. All right, where it very much feels like it's written from that perspective, which makes it feel pretty authentic, which is good. But also makes it feel a little bit amateurish, which is kind of this whole show. This whole show, it feels very charming, right?
Okay.
And also very amateur. Passionate amateurs. All right? it feels crowdfunded is what it feels like. It feels like some dedicated people were like, hey, we have an idea, gang. And a lot of other people were excited about this idea. And so like they crowdfunded it together. And now it's like, hey, look at what we were able to make. And like it's not the most polished thing out there, but they have a lot of heart. So, you know, that's nice, at least.
Mm.
That's what the show feels like a lot.
So you're saying that it would be weird if this show was produced by, I don't know, one of the biggest animation studios in the industry?
I wish that was weird. That you know, it's just not how it should be.
Yeah, like, then that's just saying the studio itself. Like, I don't know any of the individual animators or the team itself that worked on it, obviously. But it was.
I do have. Is this an adaptation of anything?
Is it an adaptation? No, it is not. It is an original anime.
See, that surprises me. Because, and as we're about to get to, because it's more noticeable in these next couple episodes, it not only feels like an adaptation at times, it often feels like a webcomic adaptation. Which is not me dissing it, per se, but it has that kind of pacing where it feels like a lot is left out, where you will jump from like, here's this scene that's very important in this way, and then you'll cut out the development from that scene to the next. And so it'll just, another thing will happen, and then another thing will happen. That would make sense if you were adapting from, say, a webcomic where you would just be stringing together semi-connected scenes, right? But as an original product is a little bit more confusing to me.
It could also come back to the studio that is in charge of this. Hey, Rem, are you familiar with Toei at all?
Their name, it's familiar.
Yeah, they're the ones who did, just some small named animes, chief of which would be, let's see, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, that makes sense. So to give an idea of kind of what I mean, so a band forms between Momo, Nina, and what's the third girl's name? Subaru. Subaru, who's the third one. She's kind of a wealthy nepo baby actor girl, right?
Yeah.
And so it's those three. They form the band together, and genuinely, once they form, and before they've done much of anything, they threaten to disband twice an episode at least. And this is before they've hardly formed. They're hardly a band, and now they're disbanding repeatedly. Every episode.
Well, Remington, the word band is in disband, so surely that's what they have to be doing.
Of course. And the thing is, there's not like a ton of development or resolution to any of those. It just kind of keeps happening. And that would kind of make sense if it was a webcomic format. And so it's like, oh yeah, this week's little webcomic, oh haha. Tension arises between them and then is very quickly resolved because we're just working with 4 panels. And so what are you going to do? I don't know what they're going for in a standard length anime. That seems strange to me because it doesn't add much anytime that it happens. It's like, oh, see, Nina is feeling self-doubt. Well, yeah, her whole character is that. We didn't need her to repeatedly try to abandon the band to figure that out. There's tension between Subaru and Nina. Sure. That's the only relationship we've seen between them until a little bit of episode 5. That's all you've told us, and so you don't need to tell us that again and again through the same way. It's just not doing much. Meanwhile, Momo, she doesn't have any character yet, unfortunately. Her character was strongest when she was introduced, and ever since, Momo has just sort of been sidelined, which is weird. I don't know, it's a very weird show, Sean. It's very weird.
I have a slight theory on it. that would make some sense for some of the decisions in pacing.
I would love to hear it because it's genuinely baffling at times.
So, like I said, studio behind it is Toei, right?
Yeah.
It only has 13 episodes. No promise of anything in the future. So, if I had to make an educated guess, I think what this essentially boils down to is, now this is going to sound wild because it's rare for Toei, but an experiment? Because most of the people involved with this that I can see aren't exactly, let's see, like the most established person is the director, and that this director has some bangers in the past, but also like he's been a director since, the 90s. So it's like,
yeah,
that's a bit strange. And also they're trying, Toei has been experimenting a lot with a 3D-esque animation while still kind of maintaining a 2D style to it. And this is one of the first times that they've actually done it in a show format. So it feels kind of like that they put this together to really, really test the waters in new ways of making anime and content. And they only gave them 13 episodes to do it. And essentially, I think the animation staff and like the voice actors, because like all the voice actors for this, their only roles are the characters in this show, like the main cast. As far as I can tell, at least. They might have some other small ones down the line, but I don't know. Like the main girls of this show, this is their first role. And
yeah,
it feels like the kind of show where some very passionate animators got a chance to do what they want with like a heavy confine of limitations, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so that sounds a lot like my feeling from the beginning. Bears some fruit of, amateurish and a little bit messy, but has a lot of heart behind it.
Yeah.
Though that doesn't necessarily explain why a lot of the issues are specifically just on the storytelling of it. We should talk about the visuals, of course, because it's notable. Hey, it's super CG. But it is for CG, better than your average CG. I think that it still is a little bit iffy at times, and also a lot of the movements and gestures look like some TikTok shit.
Yeah, it is a very Zoomer coded anime.
Yeah, and just how they're moving and everything, just due to the differences in how CG is animated compared to a hand drawn style, right? It makes it feel very TikTok. It makes it feel there's big dramatic weeby poses, right? It's a little bit weird, but it's above average. Hey, the fact that it's not ugly is an accomplishment. Do I think that it makes the show better in any way? Probably not. It would probably be better if it was just traditionally animated. It's just kind of like oh, that's interesting. And it doesn't actively detract, which is nice. But like, I don't think anybody would be complaining if it was traditional. I just don't think people would be talking about that as much. So, I guess it's a lateral move that gets people talking.
Criminy.
I want to be clear. I'm not actively antagonizing this show.
Just the people who love it.
No, I am just, it's mid as fuck, all right? The show is mid as fuck, and me pointing that out is gonna feel like an insult to the people who adore it. But it's not an insult. It's just like it's a shrug. I'm just shrugging and acknowledging my observations about it.
Oh, well, those are your observations, Rem. Any guesses on what the Mal score for this is?
Oh, God. I'm gonna guess. I think it's gonna be a bit high. I think 7.77.
Ooh, it's a jackpot number. Ooh, isn't that exciting?
A jackpot number, baby.
So, Rem, if you remember from the first half of this, I told you that it wasn't licensed overseas for the hottest time. So only recently have people been able to give it a watch. Like, it originally aired in spring 2024, and now we're like entering like the end game of fall 2024, winter 2024, that kind of thing.
Sure.
No, fall 2024. Winter is the beginning of the year. It doesn't matter. The point is that it's been a few months. So, and the people who did watch it, man, did they love it. But there's only 32,000 ratings.
Okay.
And with those 32,000 ratings, Girls Band Cry is sitting nice and pretty at 8.40.
What the fuck? What are you? Why? What?
I don't know what to tell you, man. People love it.
Why do they love it?
Well, I mean, I can go through some of the reviews if you like. Let's see.
Wait, if you guys love it, I can't wait to introduce you to the Disney Channel because, man, look, Sean, all right, let me provide a little bit of direct evidence, all right? So, a character from, a small town, now they're going to the big city, hoping to follow their dreams. And, they've always had an interest in music, but they never thought that they could possibly do it. Oh my gosh, they meet their favorite musician of all time and actually get the opportunity to join up with them. They immediately start a band that is immediately hyper successful, with no qualms, and don't worry about any budget issues. It's just how it goes. Don't worry about it. A bunch of random ass drama happens with them threatening to disband repeatedly, and it's very volatile, despite the fact that they just barely formed. I mean, that's lemonade mouth right there. And then, but then there's a rival. There's a rival band, a rival musical group, right? And this musical group, it's the one that the favorite artist used to be a part of, and now they were replaced by the main character's best friend turned rival. Ooh, yeah. That's some Disney Channel bullshit, Sean.
Look, what can I say? I'm going to send you the breakdown of the scores, and you're going to see it's a little weighted in one direction.
I don't understand.
Of the people who watched it, which, again, not many in the grand scheme of things, except for there are some very vocal fans of this show, but considering how hard it was for people to get to watching it, most people either, when it finally got licensed, either never got around to it or were too busy being sucked into the other hits of the season.
Look, this isn't an actively terrible show, but it doesn't have a ton going for it. The characters are all charming, even if they're pretty repetitive and one note, and even if there's not a ton of depth added to them, and even if a lot of the conflict thus far feels so contrived and manufactured, and even them as a band makes absolutely no sense at any stage it's been presented if you put any amount of thought into it. But that's all par for the course if you go the Disney Channel route and you just accept those things. You just say that's the way it is. If you say, actually, this is a top-tier anime, a top-tier show with an 4?
Yeah.
With an 8.4 rating.
Yeah, at the time of this recording, it's sitting at, let's see, its rank is number 193 out of all anime.
Yeah, if you're saying all of these things, okay, I think you've lost it a little bit. Through that lens, if you're holding it to that standard, well, then it's just kind of like an amateur shit show. But if you say, oh, silly little Disney Channel original style show, all right, sure, it's some harmless fun, kind of mid, but whatever, it's enjoyable for what it is. I'm so baffled. I'm so baffled, Sean.
Like I said, man, when it comes to small numbers, they are very powerful. The thing that I found the weirdest about it, though, is the only listed producer is what appears to be some kind of Japanese music label.
I feel like this show is like Vocaloid propaganda.
There are no Vocaloids in it at all, though, Rem.
Well, no, but they're gonna take the CG models of these girls, right, and of this band, and they can just transform them into Vocaloids.
I don't. Man, I know it's been a while since we talked about Vocaloids, but I feel like you don't understand Vocaloids.
Oh, of course I don't, Sean.
Oh my god.
And like it's fine if this is just like trying to sell a musical product. Just hey, man, Hannah Montana did that too. That's the business that they're in. But if you're trying to tell me, oh, what a deep, captivating story and characters as well, I'm sorry, man. No. I came in here thinking that this would be a decent review, because I go in thinking, the weebs, they probably like it a bit too much, but it's not quite that level, but it's fine. Instead, because I'm claiming it's mid, this is a horrendous review.
Oh, God. Look, Rem, I'm not...
Because the weebs have fucking lost their minds. Fuck with an 8.4.
Again, only 30,000 people reviewed it, Rem. Very small group of people.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and of the people that reviewed it, you saw that stat breakdown. Like, 21% of them gave it a 10 out of 10, which... Alrighty, you guys know my thoughts on giving things 10s out of 10s, but the fact that a whole fifth of the people that watched this show gave it a 10 out of 10 is insane.
Alright, look, if you love this show, genuinely, go watch the Disney Channel movies of, like, Shaun and My Childhood. And it's not that they're bad, alright? They're not bad. They are just in their own niche.
I just don't ever want to think about them again because of my severe trauma related to them, Remington.
Sure, you have your trauma related to them, and I hate to break it to you, that trauma should also apply to Girls Band Cry.
But it's cute anime girls doing cute things, so it's not as
See,
bad.
the fact that it's anime is the only reason you're giving it a pass.
I'm not claiming it's my favorite show or anything, Rem. Like, it's like maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10 at most for me. And that's just because, like, I could see the heart in it. That's mostly it. And we're doing it because we had a lot of requests to do it.
It's
Plus,
crazy.
it was super fucking easy for me to research because, like, the weirdness of it was so apparent from day one, right? Like the what got me in the door was the animation. What kept me curious was everything around it.
I am more so amused by the animation than anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's not that it's like CG and oh my god, it's transcendent. It's CG and it's like, hey, it's actually passable. And genuinely that's why it's noteworthy. And I find that very funny.
Apparently. And I just looked this up out of curiosity because, you know, getting a little bit of extra tertiary information is always nice. Turns out this is also the product of a project. So, like, when I looked up the producer, Ageha Springs is what they're called. It's a music company, and they had an audition, and the people who passed that audition became a band together, and the VAs for this show are that band, which is fascinating, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then Toei turned it into an animation, and then, like, the animators had some fun with it. Like, that appears to be what happened.
See, as a fun little miscellaneous project, it's fine.
But the fact that it's an 8.4 on Mal is what's throwing you the fuck off.
Genuinely, that is throwing me for a loop, and I struggle to wrap my head around it.
Like, looking at the other anime made by Toei, it you know, the company that has some of the most beloved series of all time, like it's currently number 7 in terms of their score.
I just
like it's above Dragon Ball Z right now, Rem.
I just don't understand. Once again, it's not that it's a bad show. It's just quite a mid show, a charming mid show, but a mid show.
Well, some people like their mid shows, Rem, and apparently they're willing to gush about it on the internet so much so that they wanted us to talk about and review it. And as per usual, you crushed their dreams, Rem.
I guess so. I guess I did.
So I suppose the final question I need to ask, Rem, is there any chance you'd want to finish the rest of Girls Band Cry sometime?
Not really. Like, I just...
Look, I'll just tell you right now, it just kind of peters out in the end. Like, it's fine. It's okay.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, at most... what it can aspire to is what, like a Battle of the Bands story stretched out for 12 episodes?
13
episodes? combined with let's build up our own band, and like we know how those stories. I've watched the Disney Channel. If it wasn't those movies, every single Disney Channel series would always have a Battle of the Band or Let's Form a Band episode. Everyone! Corey in the house!
Don't bring up that sacrilege here, Remington.
It's we know how these stories go. There's just, oh my God, the 8.4 has broken my brain. It's fucked me up.
Yeah, Ren, there was no shot you were going to guess this one, and that's part of the reason I wanted to do an episode on it. When there's less than 50,000 ratings, things are always going to be fucking weird.
Like, it's going to go the same way that all of these stories always goes, and it'll just occasionally try to be like, hey, but I'm an angsty teen, though, so have you considered that, perhaps? And that's it.
Well, either way, Rem, I, for one, think this was worth the time. So with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Remington being absolutely flabbergasted by the ranking system that is Mal, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is not enough for you, twitch.tv/anime out of context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly. And if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime out of context, where you get access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are threatening to break up the band mere hours after it's been formed. And on that list, we have 010, Yokeling Hokel, Yandere Neko, Wonka Domain Expansion Inflation Porn, Wolfire 56, Willy Wonka's Wonky Willy will wonk you silly. Where's our DBZ review, you ginger fuck? When's the Bible out of context on Lot and his daughters? Wes Kane, welcome to Anime in Full and Complete Context, the show where watching Requiem for Spoon Man at 0.5 speed, Totally Good, Titan CNH, The Susanator, The Spoon Man's Thousand Island Stare, The Flying Spaghetti Monster,
Christ almighty, Rem.
Look, man, it's better, but it's not good. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Rornor as my navigator. The capybara thinks Sean does a good job reading Patreon names and is proud of him. The bird's name is Cat, Miska says, bemused at her own joke. That smut has no place in Fairy Tale's 100 Girlfriends. Turban, Super Zoo, Stacy's mom. Slit the throat of reason and reality. Sean wants to give Spoon Man a thank and yank. Sean, show him Vox Machina, you coward. Sean, show Rem Kaguya-sama dubbed in My Life Is Yours. Sean, is that a slinky or are you happy to see me? Sean ruined my happy sugar life when he fucked bad.
Hey, hang on.
You know, just really cutting to the root of
none of
the
you
matter.
know how. No, I'm not gonna address this. That's just asking for an ass kicking.
Sean, I found one of my balls. A chick I just met had it. Where's the other one? Sean can do these nuts. Sean calls the Shonen Flop guys the Shonen Hard guys, if you know what I mean. Seraphim the Shark plushie, Ross Palmer, Rhiannon Williams. Remington uses the Deer Crackers of Liberation. Remington is right. Rem uses the Drums of Liberation free all weeps from bad anime. Rem hit rock bottom is still on top of Sean. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Raptor King. Pro tips out of context, the belt with the poison's in the flagon with the dragon, the vessel with the pestle is the brew that is true. Professor Fox. Pockwell Musico. Oni Chi Chi 10 out of 10 family show. My favorite dinosaur is the Triceratops. Miska accidentally generated too much static electricity and Oni-san stuck me on the ceiling 3rd time this month. Makeka 7 Yerto. Making fake mal account so I can rate Forest Fairy 5 10 out of 10. Macaroni Achiha. Lucky Stars the King of Moe. Link Joe Girl. Linerd 98. Landon Hughes. King Rich Rock. Cassidy. Jax. Jam Hands. Jake Dent. I'm not a MILF, but you can still call me mommy. I'm the original guy that made you say cunt every week. The other guy's just a pretender. I will never get more Ace of the Diamond. Now I cry. I will be on episode 341. I love it when Sean gives me kisses. His scruffy beard feels good on my cheeks.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe I made an account for this. How'd Rem feel about Flowers of Evil, Shawnee boy? What are the Flowers of Evil? I don't understand.
Racking through my filing cabinet of nerd shit.
I feel like I should understand because it's asking how I felt about them, but it's asking you how I felt about them.
Oh, it's a manga series we haven't covered.
Oh, I see. Hamura did nothing wrong. Hear me out, Judy Hopps. Ain't that right, Sean? Glenn Michael Dolan. Fern the guy learned guitar by watching anime. Farmer Weeb, everything is an ouch. Fantide. Erica McCorkle. Diana Madrid. Danielle Wright, Daddy Rum, tell me a bedtime story. Cheese Monkey, Cat Girls are best girls, so give me them cute little paws. Rock hard for Dude. That's right, baby. All points, no quills, no pillows. Blake Star, Bento Kato, Audio Glitch, AJ Tunnels, Aisha Gudgy, a Moe piece of trash. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier. What are they going to get this week, Sean?
Oh, man. Look, I don't know what you want from me, Rem. I don't know what you want from me. I'm going to give them all J-pop groups.
All right.
Because that, I know they're more like a rock band, but let's look. It feels very J-pop. This show.
Well, and they're pop rock. Like they're not.
Yeah.
Like they have the aesthetic of punk rock, but they're very obviously pop rock.
It's like corporate punk, like what corporate thinks punk is.
Yeah, very much so. Even that, I feel like, should get you flamed by the fans.
Look, man, you're never gonna figure it out.
It's Disney Channel rock, motherfuckers. That's what it is. It's Disney Channel J-Rock. All right. And on this list we have, whoops, I forgot to change my username for a month and called Sean a cuck for a month.
Did you?
Of course, and you deserved it.
I did. You know what? You get AKB48.
Weak some shit asking for Darling and Franks.
Hello, Project.
Umbrasite.
Bish.
The Russian Otaku voting Rem for the next Russian Tsar.
ASP.
That Mouse Girl.
L'Arc-en-Ciel.
Tail asks him why he looks familiar somehow.
Biss.
Stuff me like a turkey and splooge me with gravy.
Gross. Arashi.
Spoonman the Aristocrat.
Bees.
Spooky, scary Sammy K sees you shiver with antissa.
Radwimps.
Patient. Silent secondary.
Zard.
Sean, we need a distraction from the election. Let's finish AOT.
We don't need more to spare. Baby Metal.
Sean thinks humanity has declined, maybe better suited to my tastes, and will show me that anime next week.
Exile.
Scourge, best $20 spent, LMAO.
T-Bolin.
Roscoe.
Yeah.
Rem needs to watch Humanity Has Declined, if not just for the loaf of bread committing suicide.
Cute.
Raccoonco has decided to shield the anime Humanity Has Declined instead of the Monogatari series.
Yuka Saigusa and DB.
Nightshade is exhausted, please let me sleep.
D51.
Monogatari is everything you said you like in anime. This week it is stylish, interesting, weird shit from Studio Shaft.
Paradises.
Mike.
E-Girls.
Miguel DeLeon.
Vyuden.
Maybe Sean will show Rem Humanity Has Declined instead of the Monogatari series, Chicken Corpses, and Ave Maria.
Denpagumi Inc.
I'm a regulation listener that used to listen to Face Jam, but now listen to 100% Eat Where Kumiko.
AAA.
Hopping on the Monogatari train, because why not?
Iratic.
Diddy Wonka wants syrup on his chalky bar.
Sandai Mei J Soul Brothers.
Crimson Reapers just because of the sides.
Ibeck.
Carver 271.
Akia Rim.
Butler Rat wonders all those potatoes give Sean a lot of gas.
AL.
Blood Cell, the one of many that rushes to Rem's lower half when he thinks about Gene Wilder's candy cane stashed in his pocket.
Advanced Arc Harmony.
Beethoven 1201.
Ice 5? Or
Anime
Ice
Match
to the Fifth Power? One of the two.
Anime Match of the Week. Mrs. Vampire is my roommate.
Sakura Gakuin.
Animated Z.
Candies.
And every day that Raven comes to visit.
Hey Say Jump.
Also, you get the big hole.
Oh, that's a name.
Yeah.
ABC through Z.
All Father obsesses over the 12 Days of April Fools, and let me tell you guys, boy oh boy, it's gonna be so good.
It's a lot. Fruits Zipper.
And now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Sean, as Joey Wheeler, will give you just any old story ripped from a movie or book or whatever, and I will Disney Channelify it for you. We start with, Sean, how many potatoes would having your baby cost me?
Okay. Story, okay. Normal boy goes to magic school.
The Disney Channel version is, all right, you got a boy, he goes to magic school, all similar thus far, right? However, first of all, he's going to start a band when he's there. Very early on, his friend plays magic guitar. His other friend plays magic drums. He's going to be the magic singer. That's just how it's going to go. And they'll threaten to disband repeatedly before even writing their first song. That's what the first episode's gonna be about. Like they start to do it, but it takes up a lot of work. It's so stressful. Is it gonna work out? They use some magic to try to fix all the problems. For a while, that looks like it's going to succeed, but then it just makes things worse. They eventually realize that it's not magic, but communication and hard work that's going to help them progress and work out as a band.
I mean, that's pretty extreme for somebody going to learn card tricks.
It's pretty crazy. Next, we got Rowdy-O.
Fucking, going on a dangerous rescue mission behind enemy lines to rescue trapped soldiers.
All right, so this kid, he signs up for this fancy private school, whatever, right? But oh no, as it turns out, it's a boot camp. As he goes to the boot camp,
there was a Disney movie like that, wasn't there?
You're damn right. And as he goes to the boot camp, he meets a couple of friends, and wouldn't you know it, they're very musically inclined. So they all start a band at boot camp, which is going to be the title of it, Band at Boot Camp.
Come on, Rem. Boot Camp Rock was right there.
And they can only practice late at night in a soundproof shed, all right? Otherwise, they're going to get in trouble. And so they try. Unfortunately, there's a lot of stress involved. They threaten to disband, but barely. After uniting together, it's a wild journey. But eventually, they're able to make it work. The drill sergeant, when he discovers it, is like, no, can't do, this ain't gonna be allowed. But when he hears their music, he and everybody else is like, oh my God, that's so good. And they end the war. They end the war with the power of music and friendship. And last but not least, we have Hi, Sean. I'm still waiting for the first 5 episodes of Zoid's New Century.
I'm a little blindsided by that last one. Okay. All right. Here, how about this? Try this one on the size. A jock who plays basketball falls in love with a girl who wants to be a musical star.
All right. Well, if I were to Disney Channelify it, right? Yeah. There's a story, which it's not the easiest thing to do in the world.
No.
But the route I'm gonna take it, all right? First, we're gonna set it in Japan, all right? We're gonna set it in Japan. We're gonna turn that jock, instead of a jock, we're gonna turn him into a country bumpkin type sort. They're gonna go to Tokyo. What do you know? They're gonna see their favorite musician there. Bada bing, bada boom. That's where the romance begins. Then they're gonna form a band, all right? They're gonna form a band that's gonna threaten to disband as soon as they unite, in fact. And through a series of hijinks and all these things, they end up working it out. They end up staying together as a band. We get a little battle of the bands later on. Bada bing, bada bam. There you go. Disney Channel-ified.
I think I'm just going to watch or read Scott Pilgrim instead.
Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.